The show, Kendrick Perkins added an interesting wrinkle to the controversy. LeBron has been criticized for joining his son's team in the layup line, throwing down a couple of dunks and celebrating so hard on the sideline that he even ran on the court at one point and lost his shoe doing it. But Perkins has his former teammates back, tweeting, "I wonder if Tom Brady was to show up at his son's football game and was throwing deep routes to the wide receivers during pregame, would people have anything to say?" So, Shannon, is he right with this?
I don't necessarily agree, and I love Perk. And Perk makes some very compelling points, and he normally has a lot to say. And he's very thoughtful in his thought process and what he speaks, Skip. But I'm going to disagree because I believe there will be criticism of Tom Brady. There's always going to be criticism in some aspect. If everybody agrees with everything you're doing, you're not doing something right. And, Skip, I think the thing is that when I was, you say I don't criticize, I'm not objective enough on LeBron. And some people think that in certain situations I'm overly critical of LeBron.
Ooh.
But I look at it like this. Skip, I commend LeBron. I commend any parent that's able to have a child, boy, a young man or a young female, that participating in sports, and you get an opportunity to see your child do well, and you get so excited, you're in the stands and you're carrying on like, that's my child, that's my baby. Look at my baby go.
Agreed.
I got no problem with that.
No.
But, yes, I would absolutely have a problem if Tom Brady, if his son Jack, I think Jack is the oldest son he has. I think he's probably maybe 10 or 11, maybe even pretty close to being, okay. Yes, I would have a problem if Tom Brady's throwing pat and go, Jack's the quarterback if he's throwing pat and go in warm-ups for a football game.
Agreed.
If Jack threw a touchdown and Tom Brady came out the stands and ran on the field and chest bumped the receiver or an offensive lineman, I would have a problem with that. Skip, just because you're showing excitement in the stands, okay, that's one thing. But coming on the field and showing excitement, that doesn't mean you're a better parent. We criticize parents for being too actively involved, not in the stands, not cheering from the stands, because that's what parents should do. We got to get out of this notion, oh, the kids love it because they're never going to see LeBron James, and LeBron James is dunking in line, or Tom Brady coming on the field. Tom Brady stop. At the end of the day, these are kids. This is their moment. I got no problem whatsoever. If LeBron wants to get a bullhorn and say, Bronny, give him that work.
Yeah.
Zuri,
I'm good with that.
Score 5 goals. I got
Absolutely.
no problem with that.
Yep.
But I believe there's a line that gets crossed when a parent, be it professional or non-professional, comes into the field of play, the arena, even if it's pregame, and takes that moment away. That's my opinion. That's the way I feel. And I believe Tom Brady would get criticism if Jack is the quarterback on a team and he comes out the stands and started throwing pat and go. And if Jack were to throw a touchdown, would come out there and chest bump a bunch of guys on the field. Yes, I believe Tom Brady would get criticism, and rightfully so.
Okay. I do appreciate your objectivity here. If you've ever been objective about LeBron, I'm not sure, but on this you are. I also love Kendrick. We've had him on the show numbers of times. Hope to have him back. I appreciate the guts he has to go out there on Twitter and take a stand. I just happen not to agree with this stand because I'm going to have to take the literal example that he used. You know how sacred Tom Brady views the quarterback-receiver rapport and relationship. It's the essence of what he does. Quick release, timing, anticipation with the wideout, Julian Edelman, who is completely on his wavelength. So the last thing I believe Tom would ever even consider doing is going out during pregame while the kid quarterback and Pop Warner is trying to continue to establish rapport with his receivers and preempt that, upstage that by saying, let me throw to the receivers. But let's take it one more hypothetical step. If he did, at least it's a collaboration. If young Shannon's on the field, he could say, I caught a pass from Tom Brady in pregame. It would probably happen more in practice. You know, if Tom went out, if the receivers begged Tom during a practice, Mr. Brady, please throw us some, a couple of passes. Okay,
Right.
practice ends and you go out and they run a couple of pat and goes and he throws them a little deep ball and they catch it. Okay, is that a cool thing for those little kids? Sure, that would be a cool thing because it's a collaboration. They have to catch what he throws. Would he throw him a rocket? No, he's not going to try to knock a kid down like Peyton did in that Saturday Night Live skit that he did.
Saturday Night Live skit.
Right? Okay.
Good memory.
But the point is that LeBron didn't collaborate in the layup line. I told you, if he had gone out for his kid, Bronny, and throwing him a little alley-oop so that Bronny could dunk pregame, that's cool. You know, that's like father-son. Right. And LeBron is obviously all-time great, so it's like a cool thing to watch. But he didn't do that. He got in the layup line with 8th and 9th graders, and when it was his turn, he goes up as hard as he can go, and he slams it. He thunder dunks it as hard as he can dunk it. That just upstaged everybody. That wasn't about parenting. That was about LeBron failing to manage his own ego. And again, I'm going deeper psychologically here, but he's had a hard run over the last 6-odd months. The Clippers are now taking over L.A. The Clippers are now favored to win the NBA championship in, quote-unquote, his town. And I think he's feeling a little underappreciated and out of the spotlight, and he's attention-starved. And he knows if he dunks in his kid's layup line, it's going viral because he's LeBron. It's just shocking to see it.
I'm not going to go that far. I don't think he thought that in depth. But for me, this notion is that if I have a child and I'm a professional athlete and I don't come on the court and I don't celebrate with them, I'm not a good parent.
Okay.
When did that when did that ever happen? Because Skip, I'm hearing that. Skip, I believe you can be a great. So every parent that doesn't come out there and take BP, if A-Rod had a son and he doesn't take BP, but he shows up at the game, he's not a good parent. Tom Brady doesn't throw passes in pat and go line, he's not a good parent. If Shannon Sharp doesn't get out there and run routes with his kid, he's not a good parent. The only point I've ever tried to make and was trying to make, Skip, I just felt he stepped over the line once he, like I said, if he wanted to shoot a shot from the sideline, got no problem with that.
Okay.
But once he did this, I thought he was wrong. Okay,
now that's upstaging his kid and all the kids in the layup line.
Right.
But this is my 2 cents from a distance. He is not a bad parent. Not only is he not a bad parent, I think he might be a great parent. I have no issue with him cheering for his kid because he is so into it. It's fun to watch. How many parents did I grow up watching who did that? And by the way, I wish I'd had LeBron as my father because my father was an abusive creep who never went to one of my games and did nothing but try to tear me down. LeBron is trying to build his kids up, and it's like LeVar Ball. You know, do you love to a fault? Do you love them too hard and too much? Do you go a little too far with it? Maybe, but I'd rather have that than what I grew up with. I'll tell you that.
What makes LeBron such a great parent is that he had really no one to look to for guidance.
Okay.
His mom and dad weren't together, so he's like,
I got it. But his mom was there.
I just believe his mom was there.
Yeah.
He just knew what he didn't want to be as a parent.
Okay.
And I think he goes above and beyond that when his kids have something, because a lot of times they say after a long day, he's going to make sure, if at all possible, he's going to be at basketball games.
Okay.
If Zuri has a recital or something, he's going to make it a point to be there. And so I think he's not a good parent. He's a great parent.
Okay, I'm with you.
But I just disagree with him in this situation.
And by the way, for Kendrick, Tom Brady has been hugely criticized for his parenting skills with both his son and his daughter. Because remember, Tom versus Time, he kissed his son. And again, I don't ever tell anybody how to parent. My parents would have never even thought about kissing me. But that's how I've told you, Tom's best friends his age say when he sees them after a while, I know my friend Jay Feely always says, first thing Tom does, comes up and kisses him on a cheek. That's just who Tom, that's how he was raised and how he's raising his son. I got no problem. That's his choice. That's his parenting.
Yeah, Skip,
and then remember, he took his little girl to the edge of the cliff, and it looked like she wasn't quite ready. She's 6 years old, and he cliff dived with her. And it was a little scary, but okay, I assume Mama was there. I assume she had signed off, but I don't know. But he got widely criticized for that. So there are two parenting moments where Tom's like, he took his share of abuse, right?
Right. And for me, Skip, the one thing I'll never do is tell a parent how they should or shouldn't love their kid. For me, you know, the way my grandfather always said, and people my age will relate, you got a roof over your head, you got food in your stomach and clothes in your back, I love you. I ain't got to kiss you and tell you I love you and do all that
Okay.
other stuff. So